The GH6 has been out for a few months now, and as most YouTubers push this camera to the side and pledge their full allegiance to Sony and full frame, I want to take another look at it and tell you guys why it's almost the perfect camera for content creators and filmmakers. Now, there's many great features on this camera like 4K 120 frames a second in 10-bit, 1080 300 frames a second, 5.7K up to 60 frames a second in 10-bit, which is pretty incredible for the price point that it is. But the biggest game changer feature that's in this camera is actually going to be the 5.8K open gate filming that you're able to do. Now, you probably heard the term before, open gate. Open gate basically allows you to shoot the entire frame when you are filming and use the entire sensor, similar to taking photos, and then you're able to reframe it in post later on. This has many great advantages to it. As we're diving into this new future where we need vertical and horizontal videos, open gate or shooting in 4:3 is the new future. Being able to reframe and post up without losing a ton of quality is going to be huge for filmmakers and content creators, and generally almost any businesses are going to be looking for this when you need to post for Instagram, when you need to post for YouTube. They're going to need people that can shoot vertical and horizontal at the same time without wasting their money and their business. Before this, we used to shoot on 16:9 or horizontal, but to get that vertical framing, we're going to be basically losing almost 2/3 of the quality of the video. Or when shooting in 9:16, you get that entire framing of it, but if you need crop in for horizontal, there's no chance that you're going to be able to. But recently in a client shoot, this allowed me to offer a unique package shooting vertical and horizontal video at the same time. Why this is not quite yet the perfect camera is because of the autofocus. And the main issue isn't the autofocus in general. The main issue that people tend to have is this little thing called pulsing. Basically, if I switched us into autofocus, you can start telling and looking in the background of the lights that if it's trying to pull focus, I will generally be in focus the entire time, but when you see the lights in the background, then you can see them kind of like going bigger and smaller, and that's a little thing called pulsing or breathing, and that's the biggest issue people are having. Now, of course, the GH6 does have a bunch of jam-packed features where that little small thing of autofocus isn't the biggest deal breaker for most professional cinematographers or even some content creators. You still can't ignore the fact that the flagship for Panasonic Micro Four Thirds system is basically way better of a price point compared to full frame and what the price point is at right now. Getting the Sony a7S III and the Panasonic GH6 with similar to almost identical specs on sheet and paper, it's pretty night and day. Of course, there's a bunch of different benefits to full frame and a bunch of different benefits to Micro Four Thirds. If you are interested in knowing a couple reasons why Micro Four Thirds is better than full frame, check out that video right here. And YouTube recommends that you'll like this one, so maybe they're right. Anyways, guys, until next week, guys, peace.